Hello. My name is Mrs. Schmidt, and I'm actually the one that's going to be teaching you. However, I couldn't be here today, and I'm very sorry for that, but I have an emergency situation with my family that I need to take care of. I should be back tomorrow, and we will continue along just like normal. So I thought I'd just kind of go through what you're going to do as if I were there, because this is a technology class, so I might as well be able to teach you virtually through technology. So I'm going to go through a paper that you're going to get from the sub today, and you can take a look at it. I'm going to explain all the stuff. You can bring it home to your parents, show it to them. This is a pretty cool class, I think, if I do say so myself, but you may want to have some evidence that this is what you're going to be doing in my class. So I'm reading off a paper here, that's why I keep looking off the camera. The paper talks about how we're kind of bringing music into the 21st century. And if you think about it, people that make music usually are the ones that they either sing or they play an instrument. And nowadays we have this electronic type of music, the stuff that we can create electronically, and you actually don't need to know how to play an instrument, which kind of blows my mind being a musician myself. But some of the music that you hear in movies or on TV are created by people who don't know how to read music, but they have learned how to use music writing programs, such as GarageBand, that we will be using in our class. So you just never know what you might be capable of until you try this out. Now, if you've taken this class before, if you've taken an iPad music class, it will be somewhat different, but we do compose music and we do extra things at the end, but it will be different than the class you've already taken. So, you use your device, your smartphone or tablet or whatever, and maybe you listen to music, but this is where you're actually going to get involved in making the music. You might think, well, I don't know how to do this, I'm very nervous about it. Well, some of the things that we kind of do in this class is we need to be very supportive of one another, because no one really knows how to do this stuff. So we need to be thinking about, how we are going to react to other people's creations, because it's kind of a personal thing. So that's something that we will work through. So if you are nervous about presenting something in front of the class, just think that you're actually presenting it on the iPad. So don't worry about it. We're going to have a lot of fun. I think you'll actually enjoy it. And it's amazing what people come up with. Even though I give the same instructions, everybody comes up with something slightly different. So it gets kind of fun. By the end of this 12-week course, you're going to have composed a couple of different pieces of music or created a couple of different types of music. And we're going to do some other iPad apps as well. And at the end, we're going to do something called Makey Makey. And that's a funny name. If you have time at the end of class today, I'm going to have the sub kind of show you a little bit about it. But it's something very crazy, and we can only do it if we get through our entire set of projects for the trimester. So I'm hoping that we get to this Makey Makey project at the end. It's kind of a bonus thing, if you will. So we're going to be using iPads, of course, like I've mentioned. And it's important that you are nice to this equipment. I mean, I still have to use it after you leave, and many students have used it before you. So we're asking that you treat it with kindness and respect so that we can continue to use them in this class and in other classes. If you're, abusing the device, if you're not taking care of it, then we have to find something else for you to do. And I can guarantee it will not be nearly as fun. So please make sure that you're being respectful of the equipment. I mentioned before in this class, pretty much everybody is probably a beginning composer. No one in here is Mozart. Mozart would probably freak out at this stuff anyway. I mean, it'd be so crazy to him. So we're going to try to support each other no matter what happens in this class, because that's part of the class. You do not need to bring any supplies into this class. If we will use pencils and pens from time to time, so if you want to use your own, that might not be a bad idea. I sometimes bring pencils that you can use, but mine are wrapped with Justin Bieber tape. People ask me why I wrapped it with Justin Bieber tape. Well, do you want a Justin Bieber pencil? I don't. So if you want to use my pencils, just be aware you might be using Justin Bieber. Maybe you like him, I don't know. We'll be using iPads, obviously, because this is an iPad class. And you're going to be taking them each day from the charging cart and using them along with headphones and then putting everything away. And again, we're going to ask you to make sure that you are very kind to the equipment. We don't really have money to continue to buy lots of stuff, so just be respectful of both the iPad and the headphones. If you own an iPad and would like to bring it to class, you can do that. We aren't really responsible for your iPad, so if you lose it, you can't turn around and say, "Oh, Mrs. Schmidt lost my iPad for me," because I'll just giggle. So please make sure that you, if you do bring your own equipment, that you are aware that it's going to be up to you to maintain it and make sure that it's safe. You would need to buy the apps. Some of them are free, but the GarageBand app, I believe, costs $9.99. You would need to check on that for sure. So if you are going to use your own iPad, you would need to get the app. I will not allow you to use the iPhone app. The iPhone is just too small for me to see. And so we want to make sure that everything's on an iPad. An iPad mini would be acceptable as well. That's what I use. So let's see. I'm going to go through the classroom expectations. I know you hear these all the time. Oh, I gotta be good. I gotta do the right thing. Yes. So I'm going to go through mine, and we can talk about this more if we need to when I come back. So once class is started, of course, listen and follow instructions. Seems fairly reasonable. Please be in your seat when class is scheduled to begin. I will be doing a seating chart at some point. I'm not going to worry about that today. I just wanted to make sure everybody got in and we could just get started. So if you do need a pencil, one of my Justin Bieber pencils, I'd like you to leave something to compensate for it so that you remember to bring my pencil back. So you might leave a shoe, maybe you leave whatever stuff you brought in, but you have to leave something so that I can get my pencil back at the end. If I give you a high five or I say stop, look, and listen, that's your cue to stop and look and listen. So please help me out. If you notice that I'm doing high five, your options are this. You can help me out. You can put your hand up too, quietly. Or you can just sit quietly at your seat. Either one of those things is helpful. So if you notice that somebody's talking and you kind of show them the high five that they need to be quiet, that's great. Please don't turn and yell to anyone that they need to shut up, because that makes noise. So again, the appropriate thing to do is put your hand up yourself or just sit quietly, and people will start noticing that it needs to be quiet. Please don't bring food into my classroom. It's kind of hard to keep it clean as it is, and because we have iPads, we don't want to get food on them or anything icky. You can have water, but again, because we're using iPads, I don't want the water near the iPad. So you can set it on the back table, but please do not sit it right around the iPad itself. If you are tardy, if you consistently are tardy, then we'll have issues. I'll have to do something about it. Maybe it's a detention, maybe eventually it turns into referral. I'm not a big fan of detentions, but by the same token, I'm not a big fan of people showing up late to my class. So please just be respectful of me and my time to get to teach you. It's going to be a good class. It's going to be a fun class. At least I have fun. So make sure that you are helping out by getting here on time so we can start. As far as class disruptions, I'll give you a warning. We are in a portable, so I can't sit you outside the classroom. It's rather cold right now. So, maybe I'll talk to you after class, but the consequences go up fairly quickly because I don't have options to remove you from the classroom. So I'm asking that, when you come to this class, leave everything outside the door, come in, just listen and be respectful, and then we don't have to talk about consequences, detentions, that kind of thing. I will ask you to think about what you've done. I know, it's the dreaded think about what you've done, because sometimes we do stupid things, even me, on occasion. I think I did one stupid thing like 10 years ago or something. So sometimes we do things and, we're sorry for it, or, we realize it was a mistake. And sometimes just talking through it can take care of that issue. So if I have to send you to the office, then it's automatically a referral. Again, I'm not a big fan of that, but please just listen, follow instructions, and we won't have any issues. As far as grading goes, you will get a grade. I will be checking your projects. You basically do projects, and in the project there are several steps. So I'll check off each step so that you make sure that you get, oh, I did the drum part, oh, I did the melody part. So I check through it, and then I do a final grade of the entire project, how it's put together entirely at the end. So there will be small steps leading up to it, and then the final grade. You've got to hit each target in order to get to the final project. If you don't do the drum part when I'm doing the drum part, and then you come back to me 3 weeks later and say, oh, I don't know how to do the drum part, that's going to be very frustrating for both of us. So I'll ask for you to do the steps right along with me. And when you don't understand something, please ask. Most of the time I have the right answer. Sometimes I make stuff up, but most of the time I have the right answer. So I want you to, raise your hand and say, I just don't understand this one part that you're saying. Could you explain it to me one more time? I will have some things on video which will help, and then you can see it again. But it's important for me to know if you don't know something, because I can't read your mind. I might try. That'd be kind of weird. Okay, let's see. Done with that paper. So we also have the issue of drills. I know, woo! We get to do fire drills and tornado drills and lockdowns and all that fun stuff. So if you take a look in the classroom, now I'm in my office right now, I'm not in your classroom, but right at the front here, right along the front, you'll notice that if you were to kind of squish up towards this front area, that you wouldn't be seen by the window that's off to the side. So that would be for a lockdown. The back blinds are usually drawn. So in a lockdown situation, you would just stay right up towards the front and hide as best you could. We can only do what we can do, but that's what we would do for a lockdown. And I would take care of the boot device, and we'd be locked in to the building. If we have a fire drill, some people say, well, why would we have to go outside if the fire is in the school building? Well, if you know anything about fires, fires jump. So if the fire is close to our portable at all, it could come over to our portable, and that would be bad. So in the event of a fire, you'd obviously go through that back door there where you came in, and you're going to walk in a single straight line quietly towards the tennis courts. And once at the tennis courts, you turn around and face the other direction so that I could do attendance and make sure that everybody is safe. So I'm not going to have you do that this week. It's very cold. I assume that in the case of a fire, we could probably handle that, but as it gets warmer, we'll probably sneak one of those fire drills in there. Same thing for the tornado drill. Again, we have to go outside because we're in a portable. So we're in the portable, and we've got to go to the school and get inside before the tornado comes and gets us. There should be plenty of time, with weather. We usually know a little bit in advance, so we would probably get into the school in time. But one of the things that I'm going to ask is that on the paper you fill out today, one of the questions will ask, would you be interested in being the key master? By the way, if you get that reference, if you know about that reference, I'm very impressed with you. One of my favorite movies of all time. If you don't know it, that's okay. It's a lot older than you. So the key master will be the person that every day opens up the building for me. We'll walk across to the building, open up the door so that when I dismiss the class, you may leave. So it's important because I can't leave the classroom and open the door. That wouldn't be very safe of me to do that, so I ask a student to do that. And then that student would bring the key back, and then when we dismiss, then everybody goes. This key master would need to be somebody that is here most days, that is not absent very often. And probably I'd have a secondary key master just in case. But this person will open the door in case somebody needs to use the restroom, go to the office, etc. So it's somebody that can be responsible. So if you think you're that person, you'll explain to me why. And if you don't want to be key master, that's fine. You know, it's a little extra effort. I do appreciate the person that does it. So I think, let's see, that's the tornado drill, the fire drill, and the lockdown. I think that takes care of our drills. So I am going to have the sub pass a paper out to you. And like I said before, this paper is all about you. I like to know my students more than just what I see in class. So I'll ask you a couple of things. You know, maybe you have pets, maybe you like a certain type of music, maybe there's something really cool and interesting about you. There's nothing really cool and interesting about me, sorry. But maybe there's something that you'd like me to know about you, because I find that very interesting. That's why I became a teacher. I actually like students. So tell me a little bit about yourself on the paper. You know, be as extensive as you want, and give me some information. And then when I come back, hopefully I'll be able to glance through it. With this new trimester, I'm over 400 students, so I'm going to try to glance through it and kind of get a picture of who everybody is. And then tomorrow we will start again with class with me. And just a quick heads up, I will be gone for next week quite a bit, and I will be leaving some video instructions, kind of like this one, to go through the iPads. So you'll be able to access the instructions over and over if you would like, if you don't get the instructions. So so that'll be kind of interesting, teaching technology via technology. So hopefully you are having a fabulous new trimester day. We only have 12 weeks left. I know it's hard to believe, especially since it's still so cold, but spring should come eventually, and after that, summer. So I'm very excited that we are nearing the end of our year here. It's been a good year so far, and I'd like to continue that. Hopefully you do too. So have a fabulous Monday, and I will see you tomorrow.